everyone, my name is Nikki and I'm a product owner at Hult International Business School. Today, I will answer the question, is empathy the most important trait of a product owner? I'll start with a quick introduction to me and then I'll dive right in. Out of university, I started as an entrepreneur. As most entrepreneurs do, I wore far too many hats, and without any previous experience, I took on much of the web and digital side of things. It was, for mine and my brother's, fashion startup. In 2015, that startup came to an end, and I moved into product. I worked at a personalized goods company, built on the slogan, keep calm and carry on. You may have heard of it. I then moved on to a medium-sized events company. Our largest event had 70,000 attendees, and I supported a business revenue of £30 million. I'm now a product owner at Hult International Business School. I'm in a team of 15 that supports 7 campuses globally, and together we support a business revenue of $150 million. Beyond work, I hang out with my husband and my family, and I am a mummy to 1-year-old Athena. She keeps me very switched off at home, and whilst once again, far too often, I find myself wearing far too many hats, I wouldn't change it for the world. I love to play sports, and after mat leave last year, I'm now back to five-a-side football with my colleagues and at the weekend. So, let's talk product. Is empathy the most important trait of a product owner? Firstly, let's look at the definition of empathy and the definition of the role of a product owner. Empathy is imagining or having the capacity to imagine feelings that one does not actually themselves have. Essentially, in the world of product, this means, as a product owner, can you imagine how someone else feels, be it your team member, a stakeholder, or your customer? The role of a product owner is to deliver business impact, where impact can be measured by revenue, cost, and experience. A product owner delivers impact by being the middle person between the development team and stakeholders. Today, I will argue that empathy is the most important trait of a product owner because 1, it can increase developer productivity, and 2, it can improve user interviews, both of which are critical for business impact. Let's start with developer productivity. Empathy can increase developer productivity and save you up to 480 hours of development time a year. How, I hear you cry. Developers need to focus. Developers are measured on their output. They want to be productive, of course, and to do that, they need to be able to focus. It's therefore no surprise that one of the most common items on things developers hate lists is interruptions. Interruptions cause breaks in their focus. They hinder output and negatively impact productivity. What type of interruptions am I talking about? I'm talking about business users that come up to the desks because they believe they need to speak with the developer. This may be a manager that doesn't quite believe the ticketing system applies to them, somebody in sales who is certain that Salesforce is broken, it's definitely not, and maybe someone in marketing, yes, I'm looking at many of you, that can't get something to work on the CMS and they've got an email going out in an hour. And then there are all manner of digital-related questions. Often, these have nothing to do with the development team or the work they do, but because it is on a screen, somebody assumes that a developer is the person to help. So what can a product owner do? A product owner can use empathy. They can understand how developers feel when they're interrupted, and they can take action, and they can block. This can require some empathy-fueled courage. My recommended method is that when a business user comes over to the desk, stand up, make your presence known, and very politely say, "Hi, how can I help?" Very quickly, this user will rush over with their laptop and begin to tell you what their issue is. You can then make the decision whether you need to interrupt your developer, or whether you can raise a ticket, or, as is more often the case, you can ask that business user to raise a ticket. But product owners should remember to use empathy for these business users too. These are, of course, also your stakeholders. In doing so, you'll notice that they don't wake up thinking about how they can possibly ruin a developer's day. No. They are simply looking for somebody that can help them, and that person is a product owner, and better, a product owner than a developer. The cost of interruptions and empathy produced savings. When I joined Hult, I noticed that our lead developer was interrupted on average 5 times a day. If an interruption lasts 10 minutes, this could lead to approximately 1 hour a day fielding business user questions. 1 hour per day leads to 20 hours per month. And then this isn't even accounting for the time it takes to refocus, the cognitive interruption to a developer. Let's suggest that it takes a developer 10 more minutes to refocus and get back to what they were doing. This is a total loss of 40 hours development time per month. By using empathy to address the problem, I was able to save Hult 480 hours development time a year. The second area I want to talk about is user interviews. Empathy can improve user interviews and could save you up to £300,000 per year. Yes, I'm hearing you scream, how? The purpose of user interviews. A product owner interviews stakeholders and customers about the product that they are using, sometimes before the product is even available. Interviews are important because they are used to form detailed user stories which go into the development backlog and are then used by developers to work from. It is therefore essential that these interviews capture as much relevant information as possible. The interview environment. To get the level of detail required for these interviews, it is absolutely imperative that the product owner creates an environment where the interviewee wants to be open and share. It sounds like this would be easy, given that the stakeholder or the user is going to benefit from those new features. However, there are lots of reasons why an interviewee may not share. They may not feel like they're really being listened to. They may feel that their knowledge isn't really valued and you've already decided the direction of that product. The language that you're using may be too technical, it might be intimidating, and they feel out of their comfort zone. And without a prompt, some won't realize that they really could tell you more because they don't realize its impact on what you're doing. To help an interviewee feel sharing ready, here's what you can do. You can use empathy and you can display empathy. You can actively listen by saying back to the user what you have understood. You can speak their language, learn that business user's acronyms, and speak how they would speak. That enables you to show them that you understand. Break down the tech jargon. And take notes and record the session to show them that what they are saying is of value and that it will be reflected upon after the interview. And lastly, listen between the words. An example of empathy in user interviews. Last year, I interviewed an internal stakeholder about their use of the marketing and registration platform for our school's thousands of events and enrollment meetings. These events are one of our most impactful drivers of business revenue, and we were planning to rebuild the system. The project impacts events, marketing, and sales teams globally. In the interview with the head of events, I suggested that the interviewee seemed a bit concerned or hesitant. I was trying to listen between the words. And I was surprised but grateful, as this prompted a reel of information, and it was priceless. This empathy invoked information. The head of events was concerned. They were not sure if they would face the same problems as they had when we launched the same system last year. A key feature had been missed. Another one had ongoing issues. The automation that we built was not foolproof, and despite their efforts, they were wasting business hours every single week. So the learnings and the actions. Whilst this information didn't tell me about new features we should build, it did ensure that I placed due weight and attention on particular areas. I knuckled down to ensure the user stories were tight, and I ensured that the implementation and training sessions addressed all of their concerns. The results. The result is that we are midway through rolling out our platform. So far, we have had a total of 0 major concerns from stakeholders. Any conversations as yet are centered around minor design improvements rather than problems with missed features or functionality. Last year, these missed features cost us an additional development time of 1 month. Considering the UK's developer average salary, this would be an additional cost to a business of £75,000. This year, we will not have this unforeseen cost. By actively practicing empathy in meetings going forward, we'll be able to minimise these missed features. If this action is consistently rolled out across all of our projects throughout the year, it could lead to a cost benefit of up to £300,000. To summarise, today I've tried to show you why empathy is the most important trait of a product owner. Empathy can be used to increase developer productivity and deliver business impact by blocking interruptions. This can lead to a saving of up to 480 hours of development time a year. Empathy can be used to improve user stories and deliver business impact by ensuring interviewees are sharing ready. This can lead to a saving of up to £300,000 per year. The large business impact empathy has on these 2 key areas of development is why I believe empathy is the most important trait of a product owner. Thank you.